They pressed go live with no idea they were broadcasting their own final moments. These live stream deaths are some of the most disturbing you'll ever hear about. May 16, 2023, marked a typical day for Wong, a 34-year-old content creator and internet personality known as Sang Chiangu, or Brother 3000, as he prepared for a live stream on Douyin, China's version of TikTok. Despite being previously banned from the platform, Wong had cultivated a massive following through his notorious extreme drinking challenges. With more than 44,000 followers, Wong's newest account was a testament to his enduring popularity. Little did his followers know, the live stream that night would be Wong's last. Wong's stream was part of China's trending PK format, where influencers engage in competitive live broadcast. Fans showed their support by sending virtual gifts to their favorite creator. As part of the PK challenge, the losing creator is subject to a predetermined punishment, which can range from performing a humiliating task to consuming an unpleasant substance. As the loser that day, Wong was forced to drink baijiu, a potent liquor with an alcohol content that can be as high as 60%, making it a formidable challenge. Wong lost 3 out of the 4 rounds, and each time he drank more baijiu on camera. Mr. Jiao, a friend of Wong's, joined the live stream and witnessed him downing 3 bottles of baijiu, with a 4th already in hand. It's unknown if Wong had been drinking before the stream started, potentially adding to his already high intake. The stream's feed cut off at around 1 a.m., bringing the broadcast to a quiet end. Although everything appeared normal when the stream ended, Wong's family discovered his lifeless body around 1 p.m., roughly 12 hours later. According to reports, Wong's death was attributed to acute alcohol poisoning. The news of Wong's death broke soon after his cremation, sending shockwaves through the online community. Clips of the stream spread like wildfire online, only to be brought down by the authorities shortly after. Some fans were utterly stunned, their minds reeling from the news, while others seemed almost numb, as if they had seen it coming from a mile away. By embracing a lifestyle of excess and daredevil antics, Wong had cultivated a reputation that was equal parts captivating and combustible, drawing in fans who craved the raw, unfiltered spectacle of his streams. Despite previous bans from Douyin, Wong consistently managed to circumvent the restrictions and return with new profiles. In his live streams, Wong would regularly consume large amounts of alcohol, and for added theatrics, he'd occasionally set the drinks on fire. Wong's formula for success involved pushing boundaries and taking risk, which in turn attracted a larger audience and generated more tips. Less than a month later, on June 2nd, the life of another influencer was cut short in a disturbing echo of the previous incident. Zhang Wen Wang Ge, also known as Brother Huang, tragically passed away after performing a series of extreme drinking stunts during a live stream. In one particularly reckless video, Brother Huang was seen setting fire to alcohol-soaked tissue, surrounded by a sea of empty bottles. According to Brother Huang's wife, he was feeling the weight of financial pressure, with a young son starting school and a newly built home to provide for. Huang's solemn vow to reform, made amidst the somber atmosphere of Wong's funeral, was ultimately eclipsed by his insatiable appetite for risk and attention. Wong and Huang, both family men, had ventured into the online world with the hope of securing a brighter future for their loved ones. The liquor they consumed, Ju, is remarkably strong, with some varieties having a proof level nearly double that of standard vodka, which can be extremely dangerous if not handled carefully. Reports indicate that Wong drank an alarming quantity of liquor, consuming no less than 7 bottles during the course of the evening. In the world of PK live streams, the more extreme the act, the more lucrative it becomes, driving creators to continually up the ante and take bigger risks to capture their audience's attention. By reacting with excitement or generosity, viewers may unintentionally create a feedback loop that encourages creators to push the limits of safety. Following Wang's tragic death, state media picked up the story, and government officials addressed the issue on social media, reflecting growing public concern. In response to growing public concern, the Chinese government is undertaking a thorough examination of live streaming practices, with an emphasis on tipping and online safety reforms. With a valuation of almost 199 billion yuan, or approximately $27 billion, China's live streaming industry has emerged as a major economic force, driving innovation and growth. Douyin's huge following of over 1 billion active users has made it an attractive option for those seeking to supplement their income or escape financial difficulties. However, the intense pressure to succeed can drive individuals to make perilous decisions. Unfortunately, Wang was not the first to pay the ultimate price for the sake of a viral live stream stunt. The unrelenting quest for online virality proved catastrophic for two content creators, as one lost his life in 2018 after downing hazardous quantities of alcohol and cooking oil on camera, and another in 2021 who died from the cumulative damage of his gluttonous eating habits. While Douyin has rules against drinking on live streams, the platform's punishments, including warnings and account bans, don't seem to deter users who can easily create new accounts. But by the time a video is taken down, it has already racked up millions of views. New regulations have been introduced, including a ban on 31 specific behaviors, restrictions on tipping for users under 16, and a 10 p.m. curfew for live streams for young people. But critics argue that more needs to be done. Wang's friend Jiao spoke highly of him, describing him as an honest and caring individual. The platform's dynamics rewarded bold and often hazardous actions, and at a shocking turn of events, everything came crashing down in half a day. Though his online presence has been extinguished, his videos removed, and his accounts reduced to empty shells, one question continues to resonate. How desperate are people for online fame? And what toll does it take on their lives and others? As the Himalayan winter wrapped Kathmandu, Nepal in its icy grip on December 4, 2022, the town was witness to something extraordinary. The air was thick with the smells of spices and fresh produce as the crowded streets of Indra Market throbbed with life. Street vendors hawked their wares, enticing passerbys with their cries as the aroma of sizzling street food wafted through the air and tourists navigated the winding alleys. Among the sea of faces was Gansu Zhong, a 29-year-old Chinese food blogger who had built a reputation online as Fatty Goes to Africa. With over 5 million followers, he was a beloved figure online, cherished for his laid-back charm and culinary explorations that showcased diverse cultures. He rose to prominence with his African-themed content, which rapidly gained traction online and established him as a notable figure in the digital space. With a few swift taps on his device, Gan launched into another live broadcast, his afternoon ritual that brought him closer to his online community and allowed him to share his experiences in real time. Gan strolled through the bustling streets of Indrachak with his two friends in tow, 32-year-old Li Chuan and another companion. Gan's infectious enthusiasm was on full display as he joked with his viewers and gushed about the local delicacies he was eager to sample that day. The live stream captured the vibrant atmosphere, with passerbys strolling through the frame, street food sizzling on grills, and Gan's beaming smile as he chatted with his audience. But the joyful banter and sizzling street food were replaced by a sense of horror and chaos as a terrifying event suddenly erupted during the live broadcast. Gan and his friends were jolted out of their carefree stroll by a loud, anguished cry that pierced the air. The image on screen shuddered and went dark, but the audio continued to broadcast, eerily keeping the stream alive. Gan's terrified yelps and cries still echoed through the stream, his pain and panic palpable even without the video. Despite the camera's failure, the live stream persisted, transmitting the sounds of chaos and Gan's anguish. Gan had been brutally stabbed. The assailant was identified as Feng Zhongyun, a 37-year-old Chinese national who went by the online alias Ayun. But what made this situation even more shocking was that he wasn't a random attacker. He was also a blogger. There was a long-standing rivalry between Feng and Gan. The police investigation revealed that financial disputes and Feng's increasing resentment towards Gan's rising star status had fueled their animosity. While Gan boasted millions of followers and a global audience, Feng's online presence had failed to gain similar traction. It's clear that this anger had been simmering for a long time. Feng's attack on Gan was swift and unprovoked, happening in the middle of the day in Indrachok, with many people nearby who were powerless to stop it. In the footage shot by a bystander after the live stream ended, Gan was seen lying motionless on the ground. In the footage, he was seen lying on his side, clutching his stomach, his shirt blood-soaked, and his breathing shallow and painful. His eyes were stretched wide with agony, a testament to the intense pain he was enduring. The video also captured a person-to-believe Feng shouting in Chinese, his tone devoid of remorse for the attack. Weakened and struggling, Gan feebly gestured for help, likely attempting to get someone's attention to call for medical aid. After being alerted, paramedics arrived and immediately transported Gan to Nepal's National Trauma Center for emergency medical attention. Tragically, Gan's injuries were too extensive, and he died later that night due to severe trauma to his chest and stomach, despite medical intervention. Li Chuzhan, Gan's friend, who also suffered injuries in the attack, including a stomach wound, and was initially listed in critical condition, managed to pull through after medical treatment. The alleged attacker was apprehended shortly after the incident, meekly submitted to the authorities without so much as a whisper of protest. It was determined by the authorities that the violence was not a momentary lapse, but rather a deliberate act. Feng's actions suggest a calculated plan, as he deliberately waited for the right moment to confront Gan in public, executing the attack while being filmed. What started as a routine broadcast quickly descended into chaos, as a shocking and violent incident was live-streamed to thousands, leaving viewers stunned. Gansu Zhang stood out in the digital landscape, far exceeding the status of a mere content creator. He was known for shedding light on the untold stories of everyday life in the off-the-beaten-path destinations, particularly in Africa, with authenticity and respect. His final broadcast was not a produced video, but a shocking real-time transmission that no one was prepared to witness. Feng Zhejiang faced charges for the alleged murder and infliction of serious harm. The case is ongoing, with investigators working to piece together the events and motivations leading up to the incident, including the relationship between the two men. The damning evidence, comprising the live stream, harrowing witness accounts, and graphic videos taken in the aftermath, tells a chilling tale that speaks for itself. Watch your back, especially when you're winning. Hit like and subscribe before Ayun makes you the next headline. In a jaw-dropping moment that would go down in social media history, Lo Xiaomaoji, a 25-year-old Chinese fashion influencer with a massive Douyin following, posted a video on October 14, 2021 that shattered expectations and sparked widespread astonishment. In her previous videos, Lo frequently appeared as a vibrant and charismatic presence, flashing warm smiles, donning trendy attire, and spreading positivity. But in this particular video, she dropped a bombshell that caught everyone off guard. "This might be my final video," she stated, her words hanging in the air like a dark prophecy. Lo's online presence was defined by her impeccable fashion sets and the genuine warmth she extended to her audience in each of her videos. In her final video, however, She opened up about the intense emotional turmoil she had been secretly battling for a long time. Lo shared that her online cheerfulness had been a performance, one that hid the depth of her emotional pain and struggles. Behind the scenes, she had been fighting a silent battle with depression, which had even led to a hospital stay of over 2 months for intensive treatment. She concluded her video with a heart-wrenching admission that she couldn't go on any longer. She announced a live stream later that day, inviting her followers to join in and gain a better understanding of what she had been trying to say. A concerned viewer reported the post, but Douyin's moderators deemed it didn't violate any community guidelines and took no action. Nearly 1,200 individuals tuned in to watch Lo's live stream that night. At the start of the live stream, Lo seemed composed. Although she wasn't visibly distraught, Lo held up a bottle of a locally known pesticide. The live stream's chat was a battleground of wills, with some viewers passionately urging Lo to choose life, while others callously mocked her, and a disturbing few seemed to take a twisted pleasure in her words. Their comments, a stark illustration of the online world's capacity for both kindness and cruelty. The screenshots that followed were a gut-wrenching testament to the depravity of some viewers, with comments like, "Just do it already, you're wasting our time," and "Ha ha, you really did it," popping up as Lo raised the bottle to her lips. The cruelty and heartlessness of their words starkly juxtaposed with her desperation. After a small sip, Lo recoiled at the foul taste, but her resolve didn't waver, and she drank more, the chemical's bitter flavor seemingly irrelevant to her purpose. As the chemical took hold, Lo began to choke and gasp, her hands grasping at her throat in a desperate bid for relief, before she cut off the live stream. Contrary to what many assumed, Lo had taken swift action to save herself, calling the police and requesting an ambulance immediately after ending the live stream. That night, Lo was rushed to the hospital for emergency care. The news went viral, leaving her fans stunned and reeling. Lo's friend, Dodo Ranji kept her followers updated, revealing that the authorities monitoring online activities were investigating. Dodo also revealed that medical teams were searching for a lung donor, implying the chemical had inflicted severe damage on Lo's lungs. The timeline of Lo's final moments was grim. 8:12 p.m. saw the end of medical intervention. 8:13 brought Dodo's poignant update that Lo's time was running out, and 8:14 marked the official confirmation of her passing. Fans were overcome with a mix of emotions, including self-blame and anger, with some reflecting on what could have been done differently and others lambasting the viewers who had contributed to the toxic atmosphere. A person claiming to be a close acquaintance of Lo's revealed that she hadn't intended to take her own life that night. Lo allegedly hoped to garner her ex-boyfriend's attention with a dramatic gesture, but the plan went horribly wrong, leading to catastrophic consequences. Under intense pressure from her audience, Lo ingested the chemical, and although she quickly called for assistance, the damage was already done. Lo's emotional hardship had been a persistent challenge in her life. The end of her relationship with Zhao Ruolin, a college basketball player and Douyin personality with a huge fan base of over 2 million, had deeply impacted Lo. Following the breakup, Lo's attempts to reconnect with Zhao backfired, and she became a magnet for online abuse, primarily from his devoted female fan base. They claimed she was using him to boost her own fame, and that she wasn't worthy of him. According to Dodo, Lo had displayed signals of distress in the days or weeks leading up to the tragic event. Attentive fans noticed scars or marks on her wrist in videos she had posted prior. Many think this livestream was her most desperate cry for help, but instead of compassion, she faced vicious remarks. Following Lo's death, Douyin took action by banning users who had posted hurtful comments during her live stream. Douyin's statement about not tolerating harassment was overshadowed by the perception that it hadn't acted soon enough to prevent harm. Past cases, including the 2018 death of a young woman in China due to online harassment and the arrest of a man who incited a woman to jump from a bridge, highlight the severity of the issue. The tragic circumstances of Lowe's death leave a trail of unanswered questions. Who should be held accountable for the devastating outcome? What proactive measures can platforms take to identify and support individuals teetering on the edge? And why do silent witnesses often fail to intervene in the face of harm? In the quiet town of Maracay, Venezuela, a fateful live stream began on June 23, 2025, as Gabriel Jesus Sarmiento, a 25-year-old social media influencer and tech enthusiast, broadcast his life to the world. But little did he know, disaster loomed. Under the online moniker YounLeaks, Gabriel had built a reputation that drew a large audience. YounLeaks had amassed a following of over 87,000 fans and garnered more than 1 million likes on his content. YounLeaks' social media profile was known for its bold and unapologetic critiques of organized crime, police corruption, and government officials, making him a polarizing figure online. YounLeaks' videos were notable for their directness, and he explicitly named individuals and government agencies he accused of wrongdoing. As the clock ticked down to his final live stream, Gabriel's video output reached a fever pitch, with dozens of clips flooding his online channels, a digital diary of his innermost thoughts and feelings. In the videos, Gabriel leveled scathing accusations against officials, alleging they were in cahoots with organized crime groups. According to Gabriel, he had been subjected to threats and claimed that the DAET agents had detained him, raising concerns about his well-being. Gabriel also claimed that he was detained in La Morita prison for 15 days after filing complaints against 2 former associates who had allegedly been threatening him. Gabriel's accusations didn't stop at the local level. In his final post, he implicated high-profile figures, including Diosdado Cabello, Venezuela's powerful politician, Johannes Sanchez, the governor of Aragua, and Hector Rutherford Guerrero Flores, the notorious leader of the Tren de Aragua gang, now designated as a terrorist organization by the United States. Guerrero's location became a mystery after a military crackdown on Tocaron prison, where he was believed to be in control. Gabriel's statements contradicted the government's claims that the Tren de Aragua had been taken down. He shared photos of gang members and identified officers he suspected of corruption, cautioning that he was being targeted by both groups. Trenelano, another gang, was also threatening him, Gabriel claimed, adding to his growing list of enemies. Gabriel's tone suddenly shifted during the live stream. He appeared increasingly anxious, pleading for help, as he claimed, "I've been kidnapped by DAET, the police's Directorate of Strategic and Tactical Actions." He frantically shared his home address, repeating it multiple times, and accused officials of colluding with criminals. A woman's desperate cries pierced the background of the live stream. She was later identified as Gabriel's mother, and she was frantically banging on a door and begging for help. Gunshots rang out, and Gabriel's voice was filled with anguish as he exclaimed, "They shot me." The camera captured the disturbing sight of blood on the floor. The live stream captured 2 armed individuals entering the scene. More shots were fired, and the live feed suddenly cut out. Gabriel suffered at least 9 gunshot wounds, according to reports. Gabriel's mother, who was also shot in the abdomen, miraculously survived her injuries. The attack was clearly targeted, coming just hours after Gabriel's post accusing crime groups and government officials. He had gone as far as to accuse the Bolivian National Intelligence Service of refusing to safeguard him. The graphic live stream shocked audiences and quickly trended on TikTok, Instagram, and X. What added to the horror was that the violence was broadcast live, making it feel even more real and intense. Just weeks before Gabriel's death, a similar tragedy occurred in Mexico, where 23-year-old Valeria Marquez was attacked and killed during a TikTok live stream at a salon. while other violent incidents, such as the on-camera killing of a mayoral candidate and 3 others in Veracruz, had occurred. Gabriel's case drew particular attention. What set Gabriel apart was his willingness to make direct accusations and share evidence, making him a more significant target. Attorney General Tarek William Saab promptly announced online that an investigation into Gabriel's death had been assigned to prosecutors. The Ministry of Public Safety verified that Gabriel's death occurred in Aragua, a region linked to the Tren de Aragua gang. Despite the 69th Prosecutor's Office handling the case, no progress has been reported in terms of arrest, and the people Gabriel named haven't been officially tied to his death. Earlier this year, the U.S. took action against the Tren de Aragua, deporting members under the Alien Enemies Act. Reports indicate that some deported members were also sent to El Salvador's maximum security terrorism confinement center. According to Senator Marco Rubio, hundreds of individuals with questionable backgrounds entered the U.S. in 2022 by pretending to seek asylum and are now living in various states. The Venezuelan government insists that the Tren de Aragua is defunct, contradicting reports of its ongoing activity. According to Diosdado Cabello, the Tren de Aragua is a mere myth, with its leaders allegedly having fled to Colombia. Others who have challenged the government's stance have received threats similar to those Gabriel faced, suggesting the gang's influence remains. As the situation grew more dire, Gabriel's final videos became a raw, emotional plea for salvation, a public declaration of his vulnerability and fear. In a heartbreaking confirmation of his worst nightmares, Gabriel's life was cruelly cut short, leaving the investigation to pick up the shattered remains of his story and pursue justice for his senseless death. On May 12, 2025, the small town of Tesatepec, Veracruz, with a population of roughly 20,000, was the scene of a significant event. As night fell, the community came together to show their support for Yesenia Laura Gutier, the mayoral candidate, in a vibrant display of solidarity. Yesenia Laura Gutier was a member of the Morena Party, the same party as Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum. Yesenia Laura Gutier was making her way through the throng of supporters, beaming with a warm smile and extending a hand for handshakes. Earlier in the day, Yesenia had shared a social media update from her campaign, writing about the motivation she found in the town's youthful spirit. With a bright smile, Yesenia conveyed a sense of confidence and happiness, inspiring those around her. The rally was live-streamed on Facebook, capturing the energy of the crowd, including women with children who stood nearby, clapping and cheering enthusiastically. Out of nowhere, and without warning, all hell broke loose. Gunshots ripped through the atmosphere, their sharp cracks and booms piercing the audio of the live stream with jarring clarity. Within moments, a barrage of over 20 shots echoed through the air, followed by blood-curdling screams. The camera operator stumbled, and the device plummeted to the ground, still capturing the chaos as panicked crowds stampeded. The unthinkable had happened. Yesenia Laura Gutier had lost her life. And tragically, she was not alone. 3 more people died, including a victim who would never have the chance to grow up, Yesenia's daughter. 3 more people were left fighting for their lives, critically hurt in the incident. Graphic images of the aftermath started circulating on social media, showing lifeless bodies on the ground. The disturbing images sent shockwaves, not only through Tesatepec, Veracruz, but across the entire nation. Her Facebook page continued to broadcast the live stream, a haunting record of the event, long after the violence had ended and into the next day. The brazen nature of the attack, carried out in full view of the public and live-streamed for all to see, suggests a calculated and targeted act. The following day, Veracruz Governor Rocio Nally, also a member of Morena, confirmed the tragic news that Yesenia's daughter was among the victims. In her statement, Governor Nally unequivocally labeled the attack as terrorism and reminded the public that no position or ideology justifies taking a life. With elections looming on June 1st, Governor Rocio Nally assured the public that the state would spare no effort in defending democracy and ensuring a secure voting environment. At the wake for Yasina, a sense of heavy grief hung in the air, accompanied by an undercurrent of fear. In a statement to the media, Joaquin Feca, who had been backing Yasina, shared his perspective on the situation. "This can't go on. We're worn out from living in fear. It's reached a breaking point. The brutal reality is 5 innocent lives were lost, not just one precious soul," he added, his words echoing the sentiments of Cruz Morales, a family friend, who lamented that the violence had cast a dark shadow over everyday life, making even the simplest task a perilous journey. According to him, the violence had bred a deep-seated fear, causing people to restrict their movements, afraid to go out at night or even visit family, unsure of what dangers lie ahead. Unfortunately, Veracruz has seen its fair share of violence, and this incident was not without precedent. Just 2 weeks prior, on April 29th, another Morena mayoral candidate, Herman Anwar Valencia, had met a similar fate, falling victim to gun violence. The violence struck Coatzacoalcos, where Herman Anwar Valencia was shot at his campaign office on the inaugural day of the campaign. Candidates in Mexico have long been vulnerable to attacks, and these incidents are just the latest examples of a broader problem. In small towns across the region, criminal groups use a combination of force and bribery to assert their influence, and the body count continues to rise. Violence against politicians in Mexico has reached alarming levels. Recently, a councilwoman was shot in Jalisco, and a mayor was killed in Matahuacan in March 2024 while having dinner with his teenage son. A congressman was murdered in Veracruz, and a mayor in Guerrero was found dead under circumstances that shocked law enforcement, with arrest made of a former prosecutor and police official. More violence followed, with a councilwoman killed and a mayor attacked on the same day Claudia Sheinbaum's presidential victory was announced. Running for local office in Mexico has become a perilous endeavor. Governor Nally revealed that 57 candidates had requested protection, but it's unclear if Yasina was among them. The circumstances surrounding Yasina's death raises questions about the effectiveness of protection measures, leaving uncertainty about what might have been done differently. The bloodshed in Veracruz continued to escalate, with a chilling second incident unfolding in Boca del Rio just hours after Yasina's brutal murder. 2 federal agents and another individual were caught in the crossfire, their lives brutally cut short. In response to the escalating violence, President Claudia Sheinbaum addressed the nation, confirming that federal support had been deployed and that her team was working in tandem with state officials to address the situation. She emphasized her administration's determination to ensure the safety and security of the electoral process. An investigation into Yasina's death has been launched, but so far, authorities have not identified any suspects, disclosed a motive, or made any arrest. Yasina's ambition to serve and lead her community was met with a violent end, and she fell victim to a senseless act in the midst of her campaign, surrounded by those she hoped to serve. Click on the next video to see more disturbing stories.